welcome to Common Sense and Logic. That's not what we call ourselves. That's just the name of the channel.
Yes, sir. Howdy.
I'm Ronnie.
Welcome back, man. Caesar here.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys, for giving us some likes and watching our videos.
Keep those comments coming.
Yeah.
We like it. Like the feedback, man.
Yeah. I hope that this is helpful to you guys too. You know what I mean? So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So how you been, man?
Good.
What you got going?
Just work usual, but trying to stay on top of the topics that are going on. Okay. I heard the other day, I know it's a different country, but we could probably tie it back in here, that the country of Denmark is outlawing the burqa. I think that's how you pronounce it. The burqa is the mask that Muslim women wear.
Okay.
That they got to conform to their customs. Just like whenever you go to a Muslim country, you got to conform to their customs, where they make the women, the Western women that don't wear, I guess it's called the burqa.
Yeah.
That don't wear burqas. They in Muslim countries, they make those women cover their faces, and I think even wear like long dresses to cover their ankles or what have you. Something like that.
Yeah, over in those countries, they have to dress like that. They can't really dress normal like the way they do here.
Due to their Muslim,
their religion.
The religion.
Yeah.
So the country of Denmark, and I'm sure other countries do the same thing. They're flipping it, where they're saying, okay, well, I mean, you got to conform to our traditions. You're not allowed to be wearing the burqa for women. So I kind of like that. What do you think?
Okay, so what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Palestinian Muslim religion? Is that where we're going with this?
No, just as the country itself. Are you okay with Denmark doing that?
Telling them that they cannot dress like the way they did back home.
Right, exactly. And then we're going to tie it back.
Okay.
You know what? When people come from other countries here, say, for example, like my country of Mexico, your country of Guatemala.
Sir. Gotcha.
When they come, do they have to conform to our to the American customs? And what do we feel about all that?
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess I do get what you're saying, and so for the people out there that they don't know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So we're talking about people that come to the United States and adapting to the United States, right?
Correct. The customs of the United States.
And some people, for some reason, they're butthurt about that, or they're not going with that feeling, right? They want to continue on being who they are. I guess some get a sense of losing their identity or something.
Right. I don't know if they're butthurt because the United States allows anybody to be who they want. So I don't know if they're butthurt, because I think they're still allowed to. As it stands right now, whoever comes over, they're still allowing them to practice their traditions, their customs, and all that,
Well, yeah, but I heard some people saying, "Hey, man, we left our country to come here, and why do we have to speak?" Well, I'm talking about
now. We're talking about language. Well,
okay. We're talking about Hispanic.
Yeah.
Because I really don't like talking too much about other ethnicities.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why we kind of tend to stick to Latinos, right? And so yeah, I have heard some people say we come here to live a better life, but we don't have to adapt to the American way.
Right.
Whether that be respecting the flag, or standing for the flag, or speaking English only.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of going with what you were saying in the beginning, right?
Yeah. I was just starting it off with with the country of Denmark, and not allowing foreigners bring their customs, specifically the Muslim religion, to wear that, where they have to adapt to their customs. So tying it back to where we're at over here, it doesn't necessarily have to be the religion part, but like you said, language, where they enforce them to speak the English language as opposed to the Spanish language, right?
Yeah. I think we're spending it too much too soon. So to make it simple, this is what my common sense and logic is telling me. Whoever comes to the United States, I think that they should adapt to whatever the United States is providing and what it is.
Okay. So you don't think they should practice their customs, what they from their previous countries, is what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, they could practice that at home, man. You know, with their families and all
Yeah,
that.
of
But
course.
for to kind of like convert this country into what they left back home.
Yeah, no, now we're talking about something else. Yeah, yeah. So now you're talking about converting the whole country. I don't agree with that either.
Well,
Of
yeah,
course,
that's
yeah,
but that goes without logic, right? That they come here and they're still
yeah.
acting like the way they did back home,
Well,
right?
like you said, within the family, they could. I mean, I don't have
Yeah,
a problem with them practicing their customs from their homeland. You know, whatever it is, playing music, their mariachi or whatever it is. But yeah, when they're with their family, friends, whatever, I don't mind that at all.
yeah. I don't think I'm going towards that way. You
Mhm.
know, whatever they do at home, that's fine with me.
Right, right.
But I'm saying is like, you know, everybody's out there speaking Spanish and
Uh,
whatever, you know, whether that be Salvadorian, Guatemalan,
yeah,
Mexico, whatever, right? But they're only speaking that and they're not really trying to
yeah,
learn the English,
yeah. They should learn the
right?
English, of course.
So in a sense, they're kind of forcing everybody else just to speak Spanish.
English
That's the
is the
way I see
first
it.
language here in America, so they should learn the English language. I don't agree with them not attempting to learn it,
Yeah.
but I don't mind them speaking their Spanish either.
Well, I don't think that you're
Yeah,
gonna be able to do anything about it either.
yeah. So I don't mind them speaking their Spanish, but if they're trying to, what do you call it, to force where it's necessary to speak Spanish, then I don't agree with that. You know.
Well, I guess this kind of ties up with Trump again because he has said that he would like everybody to learn English
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that
Not at all. This is America,
I
so
think that if you're here in America, then the American language should be
of
your
course,
primary language. Everything else is secondary.
number one language should be English for sure.
So those are my common sense and logic on that. Uh, it ends there. You know, I can't tell people, and I wouldn't agree with telling people how to dress.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there are some things like, for example, if you ever gone to MacArthur Park here in California,
Okay.
Compton,
Try to stay from those areas,
LA,
away from those areas.
yeah.
But yeah,
But if you ever been,
I bet. Yeah.
it's you get the feel. Well, I get the feel like you're actually back in those countries.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind some designated areas being like that, like Little Italy. They have Little Italy in New York. I don't mind that at all. Little Tokyo here in downtown, where a certain section is, what do you call it? Um, they do, they it feels like you're back in their home country. I don't mind those designated areas, but where they try to expand it overall, where it's just scattered everywhere, I don't want to agree with that.
but that's what we're kind of seeing here in California, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with that. But I'm just letting the people know I'm cool with like little designated areas like Little Italy and New York. I'm fine with that. Little Armenia, little, what do you call it? Little Tokyo, Koreatown. I'm cool with those little sections.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a fine line. You know, people come here to America and they expect the same environment that they left. So
They shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, it's a different country. They should adapt to the customs of the United States, and the language here is English. So learn. I'm totally for what Trump is trying to. You said he wants everybody to speak English, right?
yes,
I mean, to learn English.
yes,
I'm cool with them learning English. Yeah.
yeah. And I give props to those people that they try to speak English.
Yeah, that's
even,
cool.
even if it doesn't sound like the way most people want it to, perfect. You know, but they at least try.
They're attempting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're making the effort, which goes a long way. You know,
Yeah.
putting that effort in.
Because I gone to stores around here, and they most of them are Hispanic, and I tried to speak to them in English, but it's it's almost like they're forcing me to speak.
No,
Spanish.
you see that I don't agree with. Yeah,
Because
no.
I'll initiate the conversation, and then like they'll speak Spanish, and I continue speaking in English.
Yeah.
And they keep speaking Spanish.
No,
but I was given to their ways. I'll go and speak
you do
Spanish.
you do give in, okay.
I do because I guess because
just for the
I'm
sake
Hispanic
of,
and they're Hispanic.
But just for the, I'm assuming just for the sake of communication, that way you guys could make a smoother transaction, whatever you're trying to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I don't know if they actually understand what I'm saying. But the thing is, man, people should just learn English.
Oh yeah,
and that's that. But I don't think that anybody's losing their identity. I don't think that anybody's losing their roots. you could always go back to those countries, you know what I mean, and
Right.
visit them. Like I said before on a prior video, I've never gone back to Guatemala. Maybe once when I was a kid, and I have no desire to. I'm sorry, you know what I mean. It's a beautiful country,
Right.
but I have no desire to. Maybe later on, you know what I mean. I think about it, but if you want to keep your roots, then be one of those people that you're actually going to your country and learning everything about it, versus just being here in America and saying you love that country,
Hmm.
you're so proud, and you want to turn this country into that.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, that doesn't make any logic, any sense.
Yeah, yeah, common sense says you're here in America, you gotta adapt to the American ways. Yeah, that's fine. Keep your
You know how we're
your
seeing
identity, your heritage. That's fine at home with your family. If you're come from a Mexican family, I don't mind you guys blasting Mexican music at your house, whatever. In your car, of course, you're allowed to do that. But when you're forcing it on other people, then yeah,
yeah, like okay, for example, when we go to a park or the beach, right,
right.
a public place, are you okay with people doing that, or is that what you're saying? Like, no, I'm not cool with that.
Where they're playing their music.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody's playing their own music, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I mean, if someone's playing American country, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody's, but to a point where it's not over blasting and annoying.
Yeah.
And that goes with any type of music. It could be heavy metal or like American country. You don't want it like blasting over air because you have a lot of different people,
Mhm.
and not everybody listens to the same genre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fine line. This topic here, like I said, there's a few people are talking about it, not a whole lot. But another example would be like those street food vendors too, right?
Right.
So they're popping out everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
The city leaders are giving them the green light to do that. I personally don't like that.
Okay. That they're everywhere.
That they're everywhere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because again, it's not the American way.
Right.
And that's where people fight about these things and argue about it because they're like, what's wrong with that? That's what we do in our country. Exactly. That's how you do it in your country,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. But this is not it. They didn't do that before. You know what I mean? So why is it that we're coming in here and trying to create the same environments that we have back home?
Now the question is there rules and regulations? Is it city? Every city has different rules and regulations as far as the vendor, and they're just not the city's not enforcing it, or how? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they do have permits and all that, but the end result for me is like, why you're allowing it? Let's just say that they're doing everything by the book.
Okay.
It just doesn't make any sense to me still. Like why are you allowing that?
Yeah. I kind of agree with that because of the hard workers that have the brick and mortar stores where they're paying rent, lease, they're busting their ass, and these pop-up vendors are just coming in and taking over. That's kind of messed up for them.
Yeah, that would be the whole a whole different talk, right? But I'm talking about more like the simple fact that they're allowing them to set up shop.
But you can't blame that on the people that are, the people that are coming over here doing that. You got to blame it on the city for allowing it.
Well, yeah, I mean that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they're allowing it, then they're going to take advantage of it.
Of course, that goes without saying, right? I mean, shoot, if I could go and rob a bank and they allow me to do it, why not do it?
Yeah, but that goes with what's right and wrong. That's morals. You wouldn't do it. Yeah, stealing. Come on, yeah. That's a little different.
But what I'm saying is because I always go to the extent.
Yeah, that is an extreme. Yeah,
and I do go to the extreme to make a point. I guess I think that people would understand it better, or it will at least would stop them and make them think.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not cool with all those vendors because again. I've seen videos, and that's how it is in other countries.
Right.
And if you allow that, right, because they want to please everybody, and like you said, people come here and maybe they don't have another ways to get a job, make money, so they want to do what they do back home, or they solve, and they want to set up shop out in the street, and
Right.
the city will allow it.
Yeah.
I blame the two. The city will allow it, but where's it going to stop?
Yeah.
I mean, look at India, dude. Like that,
Yeah.
everything out on the street.
Yep.
Dude. Do we want that here in America? That's what people need to ask
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. No.
Do they want that lifestyle here? And if you do, then I guess we can't argue that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just don't see my thinking and my outcome of this is common sense and logic. If you're okay with all that, then why not go to one of those countries? Then?
Yeah.
Why do you have to come here to America and try to convert it into that? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Why did you leave your country in the first place?
And not necessarily where they came from, because again, there's countries like India that do that. Then why not go over there?
Yeah.
If they like that style so much, then go over there.
So you're saying if they're from Mexico, they come over here, why not go to India? You're saying,
yeah. And set up shop over there. Whatever it is that you guys want to fill in the blank. I like loud music, and I that's how we do it in Guatemala. We ride around and we bust bumpy music all the time, and we talk this way, and we dress this way, we act this way. But we're gonna go from here to America, and we'll continue doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Where that's where I say, like, nah, that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why would you want to do that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. See what you're saying.
It's almost like, I was talking to somebody, and I gave this example. It's almost like grabbing someone from the hood,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you place them in a nice conservative neighborhood.
Yeah. Like Friday, like the movie Friday.
But yeah.
When they went to Rancho Cucamonga.
And then they take that whole environment to that new neighborhood.
They take the hood to the.
Yeah. They keep acting the way they did back there. You know what I mean? So how does that make any sense?
Right.
Now people are going to argue. They're like, hey man, they could live wherever they want. If they could afford it, they could get in there. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you adapting to the environment that you're going into.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to do that, then why not just stay where you're at?
Stay where you're at. Correct.
That's all I'm saying. That makes perfect sense to me. But I don't see how it makes sense to other people that think that way. And then
everybody's thought process is different.
When you enlarge it to a bigger picture, we're talking about different countries coming into the United States. But that's a small example, so maybe people get that visual, you know what I mean?
Right.
And understanding what I'm talking about. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and if you feel like the way I do, they're going to disagree with you. But.
Right. Yeah, I'm cool with like to an extent. Yeah, like I said, as long as they're not taking over, trying to change this country into something else.
Because it's a broad subject and a broad thinking that they're bringing, right? You see, like for example, they're placing their flags everywhere, right?
Okay.
Not the American flag.
You mean like in their homes or where?
At their home, yeah. And is that cool? I think we kind of spoke about this in a previous video.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's cool. You know what
you
I mean?
See, now we're talking about homes. I'm cool with that. Whatever they do in their home, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's their home, as long as they're not disturbing the neighbors or whatever. Because if you just pick a nice city in Orange County, whatever, if they put their Mexican flag on their house, that's fine. But as long as they're not blasting their music, annoying the whole neighborhood,
Yeah.
If they're playing music within their home environment, they have the flag.
Let's say you rolled on your block, and you saw everybody with a Palestinian flag, you wouldn't think nothing of it.
I wouldn't live in that block, first of all, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wouldn't live in that block.
Well, how do you think American people feel about that?
Right.
When they see different flags everywhere. And I'm not talking about just white people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about true American hearts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
you don't
love this country. They love what it stands for. They love everything about it. The flag, the Constitution, the military, everything about it.
Yeah.
I think that it hits their nerves somehow. You know what I mean? It kind of, to say that it bothers you, I don't think that's the correct word.
Okay.
Or feeling to use. I would just say it's not right, because this is America.
Yeah.
So why would you be putting other flags around here. And if you don't put it to a stop, who's to say that it's going to be taken over by that?
Okay. So you're saying not allow it.
I don't think
But
so.
that's when HOAs come into play. HOAs wouldn't allow it. But now you're saying the city itself not allow it.
Yeah, I think that for those leaders that are saying this is America and we want to keep it the American way, I'm all for that. Yeah. I'm 100 with it.
If they don't allow it, I don't have an issue with it. But if they're allowing it, I mean,
well, that goes back to that. You know what I mean? Okay, you brought that HOA. So you move into a nice neighborhood, right? And all the houses are a decent color,
right?
And then you want to paint your house.
Well, that's not going to happen in HOA. They won't allow it. Yeah,
but then,
and I'm fine with that.
But then, what would you say the HOA allows it?
Then that's on the HOA,
right?
Yeah, you blame them,
right?
Yeah, for allowing it,
right? You would blame them.
That's why there's rules and it goes to law enforcement. If they're allowing crime, don't blame the criminals. Blame the law for not enforcing it.
Right? Yeah, and I think that I'm not blaming the people.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming people that actually come here. But that's why I say, you know what I mean? Like, you have to use your common sense and logic, right?
Right.
You come in. I don't think that you have to necessarily have someone say you're not allowed to do that.
They should know better.
It's almost, again, we go back to the smaller examples, the smaller scale, and you move into a community that has HOA. Common sense, you're moving into it because you like what you see. Why would you go in there and then all of a sudden paint your house like a rainbow or whatever, a black, whatever,
Of course, yeah.
Does someone need to really come and tell you, hey, you can't do that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think that you're using your common sense and logic right there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody's different, so.
Yeah, but that's why we're trying to put it in general, right? Like, everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's going to do their own action, feelings, whatever. Put it all in a bowl. But what does common sense and logic say?
Yeah, in a perfect world, just keep it uniformed.
Exactly.
Keep it uniformed. Keep it the same. But we don't live in a perfect world, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
Common sense and logic make people think.
Okay.
Right? Like, because I don't think that there's more platforms. Like, I'm not even calling this a platform, but there isn't much talk about this of using your common sense and logic. It's only about who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this, I don't like that, and I want this and I want that. What does your common sense and logic tell you? For another example, right? Like, when people come from these neighborhoods like Compton, and I keep on picking on that because it's ghetto there.
Yeah.
They got the way they drive, the way they act, the way they park their streets. Trash everywhere, and the leaders have something to do with that, but the people do too.
Of course, it's everybody's responsibility for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if you're there for a few years or whatever, you're there, you're from there, and then you move to a whole different neighborhood. For you to start acting the same exact way that you did over there, that doesn't make any sense. You're leaving that environment for a reason.
I agree with that.
Adapt to that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that.
That's 100. You know what I mean? And of course, it's to everybody's individuality to act the way they want and whatnot. But that's why you see nice neighborhoods becoming ghetto too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because that mentality, when a person from this neighborhood moves into a nice neighborhood and they go in there and they think they're the number one and it's got to be their way, they don't want to adapt to their style, and they want everybody else to adapt to their style. Well, because these people are nice enough not to put up a fight or say anything, they let it go. And then guess what happens? More start coming, and then those people move out of that neighborhood. And then that neighborhood became exactly the environment that they left.
You see that everywhere.
And you see it everywhere, right?
Yeah, you see that everywhere.
That's my common sense and logic in that.
You see that everywhere, and do I like it? No, I don't like it.
Yeah. And so I think that the leaders are doing something right, At least the president is and his people, learn your English, respect the flag, stand up for the flag, all the good stuff, all the American way.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, I'm all for that, man.
And like people are out there putting businesses, right? I mean,
Okay.
dude, when I go to LA, I kid you not, I feel like I'm in a whole different country because everything's in Spanish. And people's like, dude, you're freaking tripping out of nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
now people can't even put their freaking names on their shop and all that. I really don't think that they're thinking it's just my name there. I really think that they see around them everything that they see and they feel at home and they build their environment,
Uh huh.
you know what I mean, which they left, and then one person doesn't, another person doesn't. It's kind of going back to them to that example that I just gave, right? One person
Hmm.
goes into that neighborhood and then another one comes and another comes.
And they all create
And
the
then sooner or
environment.
later that environment becomes what exactly what they left.
Right.
So if you go to LA, that's exactly what you see. It's taken over. Everything seems like you're in a whole different country.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that something should be done about that. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not blaming the people. You know, it's the leaders, yes, and then the people should have that common sense.
So in a way, you are blaming the people because they should have common sense enough to not do that. But
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's the common sense and logic in this whole thing. You know, you're not losing your identity. You don't have to do all that when you come from a different country. To begin with, we're Hispanic, so everybody freaking knows you're Hispanic.
yeah,
Unless you look like a freaking, you know, you look white or you look black or any other ethnicity,
that is possible.
then people are gonna question it. And they're gonna be like, I don't know what he is, but come on, most of us Latinos, people know we're Latino. So
Yeah.
how are we gonna lose our identity to begin with?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the way you look, yeah, you're not gonna lose that because if you're brown skin, you're not gonna lose the fact that you're Latino. You know.
And for those people that think like Ronnie, you're an idiot, you know, you want everybody to be the American way and you're wrong and all that. Well, then explain to me why I hear a lot of Central American people here because I do know how they talk and I could kind of distinguish, you know,
Mhm.
the accent and
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
of course.
So explain to me why they're speaking like even myself. I'm guilty 100% of what I'm about to say. When you hear me speak Spanish, I almost sound Mexican,
Okay.
right? True or false?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't hear the Central American in you.
yeah.
Like
So
someone.
someone would say on that too, right? Like, hey, dude, you're not even Mexican. What happened to your identity as a person from Guatemala?
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people, you know, around me, they're not from Mexico and they speak that way. And I bet you those are the people that would probably point the finger at me and say, you're wrong, dude. But you're doing it basically,
Uh-huh.
but you won't notice it because I guess you're speaking Spanish, but you're speaking in not the language that you're coming from.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? I mean, you know,
So the people you're saying the people you're talking about when they speak Spanish and they're from Central America, they have a Mexican accent or they
Yeah,
don't?
they
Okay.
do.
So
They
they do.
do.
And they're the ones telling you what again?
not to lose my identity.
Okay. But they're the ones adapting to the different the accent.
The different accent,
Yeah.
and in a sense, you're losing your identity because if not, then you would speak the way they do
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your own country. You know,
Right.
and you know, like when it comes to that, and I've heard people talk about that, but then again, when you talk to Hispanics, they themselves try to make themselves sound like, oh, I'm part European or I'm part Spaniard. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So what's that all about?
Well, who specifically you said?
No, it's just people. I hear people talk about stuff like that.
Like
with
Mexicans or Hispanics?
Hispanics, just
Hispanics,
Hispanics overall.
where they think they're from Europe or
Yeah,
what?
they come out saying that. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know if they are or not. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
if they're lying or not, but
Uh-huh.
they have to throw that in there. Why?
Okay, yeah.
If you don't want to lose your identity and you want to be Hispanic, why do you have to throw those things like that?
Yeah, that's weird, yeah.
So I know that I'm giving a lot of examples, but those are the conversations that I'm having with some people. You know, and it just doesn't make any sense to me to come here and continue being who you were. That's not losing your identity if you do that. Because
Right.
again, you're Hispanic, people are going to see that. And you could continue doing that with your family and friends. You know what I mean?
Right, and I'm all for that for sure. But yeah, when you're out in public, I totally agree with the American way, you know?
Yeah, 100.
I agree with that. It's a better look. Like you said, when you go to LA, it looks awful.
Yeah, I think people should really pay attention to cities like that. If you don't know about it, take a drive over there
Oh,
and then make up your mind and question yourself whether you like it or not. Is that what you want to see continue on? Because it's almost
or
like
spread
it's a
through,
spread. It's spreading
spread,
up.
or even spread through the whole country. I definitely don't want that. You know.
Yeah, I mean California's like that.
I mean,
But, you know, I would say like maybe 60, 70 is like that. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't
Not
think
that
so.
much.
No, no,
50?
not in.
No,
California is a big state, and
it is.
there's so many rural areas where it's just country. You know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
Maybe I need to get out more.
maybe I think little dense population cities like city of LA, maybe San Francisco, whatever, big cities like that, but they're only a little pinprick in the whole state of California. California is full of rural areas where it's not like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that because I really don't know. But yeah.
But in the major cities, yeah, I agree with you. It is becoming that.
Mhm.
City of Los Angeles, especially, and I'm sure San Diego's getting like that too, closer to the
You
border.
got Frisco. You
Frisco,
get
yeah. Those are
Los
three big cities,
Angeles,
yeah.
San Bernardino, San Diego.
Yeah.
The major. So yeah, it's spreading. So those are my takes on that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it to spread. I mean, I agree with you, but like I said, it doesn't bother me right now because I avoid those cities. I don't hang out in those cities. But I see what you're saying. I definitely don't want it to spread.
But
And if they could,
But why would you avoid those cities?
yeah, because of that, I just don't like that.
See,
Yeah.
but there we go with that. You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to avoid those cities when we shouldn't?
Yeah.
Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we didn't do that. Like
I wasn't born in the '60s. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, well,
but I know what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying that because maybe you got sisters, brothers that kind of like close to that, or uncles and all that.
Oh yeah, they say
I've learned a lot from
that's a lot
my
different.
uncles, my brothers, cousins, whatever. You know what I mean? People around that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to hear them talk about the '60s and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No, there's this explosion that you're talking about. It's pretty recent, within the '90s, maybe late '90s. I don't know till now.
Yeah, probably around the 90s.
Within the past 30 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But '80s, and I'm sure if it wasn't like that in the '80s, I'm sure it wasn't that like that prior to that. So you're right, '70s, '60s, and just seeing a lot of things, it didn't seem like it was like that back in the day.
And I know that there's some people that are gonna watch this and hear us talk about that, and they're gonna be in denial. They're like, I'm not like that. I don't do that. You guys are wrong. But I guarantee those people are not still living in the same area that they grew up in.
Right.
And these are adults that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that they moved out from the surrounding areas of where they grew up and moved into better neighborhoods.
And they feel proud.
And they feel
They're
proud.
proud because they did move out from wherever they grew up.
Yeah. See, so your argument to make that with me and call me names and say that you disagree with us,
right?
It doesn't fly. It doesn't make any sense.
If you're living in those new,
if you're new,
I mean, living in those nice neighborhoods,
right? Yeah, because you
moved out for a reason.
You like
for American a better life.
You like the American way,
right? Yeah, where I grew up, it's definitely changed. I don't like going back to the cities where I grew up because it's, first of all, there's no parking.
Yeah,
there's like 10 cars per every home. Probably like 5 families to every home. But I get it because the cost of rent and whatever to live, you need about 5 families to be able to afford the rent or the whatever mortgage on a home.
Yeah, but when you go to those neighborhoods, man, there's nothing American about it.
Yeah, there isn't.
And that's the point that we're trying to make.
Right.
I think you could still live in a neighborhood like that and keep it really nice.
Oh yeah,
American way. Just keep it nice.
And I agree. I agree.
It's a big change for a small asking.
Yeah.
Adapt to what you're coming into. Basically, that's it. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I yeah, it's not a good look. You avoid those. I avoid those cities because it just doesn't feel safe at all. First of all, and just the congestion and parking is horrible and all that. But so I avoid it for that reason. Why anybody would want to convert it into that, I don't know. Yeah. So
I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah. That's it, man. Give us your feedback. What you guys think about that? People coming from other countries adapting to the United States
Or coming in
way of
here
ways.
and trying to convert this space to what they
Yeah,
left.
not adapting, just
adapting.
wanting
Yeah.
to mimic your home from back where you came from, the lifestyle and the look. Do you really want that? Why did you leave in the first place? You know, it doesn't make sense. It definitely doesn't make sense.
And like I said, there's people that are gonna say to live a better life because they can't do it back home. Well, that's exactly why. That's fine. Nobody's taking that away from you. Do it.
Live a better life, but
Making it, like whether
conform to
that
the
be
ways.
financial, which I think that's the main reason, right? A lot of people come here.
From Mexico, the financial situation for
I
sure.
think that it's pretty much like that for almost everywhere else.
Not everywhere else,
Not
but
100%, but
there
I'm
are
saying
some
most.
there are some countries that are they leave because for they don't persecution and all
Right.
that.
No, obviously, yeah, but I think
Communist countries or socialist
yes,
countries are turning to
I agree.
Venezuela,
Yeah.
or back in the drug lord days, Colombia.
Yeah.
Mexico is turning into a big what do you call it, corrupt? I mean, it's been corrupt forever, but safety reasons with the cartels and all that. It's not safe. So, but I don't think that's why people leave.
But for
From Mexico, it's usually financial reasons.
for whatever the reason are that they come here,
The American dream, man, is what everybody comes over here for. The American dream.
and grab it and live it up.
Yeah.
That's what I say. You know what I mean? And I said it
But
before.
if you say it, American dream, why would you not want it to be American?
Yeah, right, exactly. That's a good one. So yeah, you're in America, and like I said it before, there's nothing wrong with being an American. You're here, embrace it, love it, respect it. That's it.
Stay free, be American, man.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing at all, man.
It has it in the name, American dream.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for today, man. It's kind of a short video, and I just wanted to touch on that. And good thing that you brought it up because I actually did have this conversation with someone over the phone, and we're talking about things like that. So common sense. You come into a new environment, adapt to it. Don't try to convert into the environment that you left.
Yeah, that's common sense. Common sense of law just says keep it American. Keep it American, but it's still, you're not gonna lose your identities. Have your heritage, but the look, the overall look, keep it American, the U.S. way, and it just looks better.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. And if you don't believe us, then move your ass to LA or Compton and get a taste of it. What I'm talking about.
South Central.
Yeah. It's easy. You don't have to leave anywhere else. You just do it right here in California.
Right.
Go over there and live there a few years. I bet you won't last there.
You moved to the suburbs to a nicer neighborhood for a reason, man.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's it, man.
Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments, feedback. We want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We're gonna try to keep these videos going. And remember, we're not professionals, man. We're not giving. We're trying not to give our opinions, and we're not trying to keep it political. All we're trying to do is make you guys think and use your common sense and logic. And if you guys want to challenge that right there, do so. Anything else, out the window, man, because it's not going to make any sense. Right? You guys are going to come up with a bunch of excuses and reasons as to why you came here, but you want to keep that environment. And
that doesn't make sense.
And to me, that doesn't make any sense at all. So remember, common sense and logic. If you have it, you know what we're talking about. If you don't, then keep coming back and hopefully you get it.
And if you have it, use it.
That's right. Thank you very much for watching.
All right. See you guys next one. See you on the next one.
Yes, sir.